Jesse.
And I'm Afton, and this is
the Much Podcast. We are back again.
Yes!
And we are still in Ecclesiastes.
We are.
And this is actually Afton's choice topic for our recording session.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to hear all of her insight on this.
I just love it. But before we get started, what's your much moment?
Oh, you have to go first this time. Now I'm not prepared.
My much moment is I forgot that we did not have air in here. And Jesse was like, you're gonna wear, I told her I was wearing a sweatshirt, and she was like, you're wearing a sweatshirt, it's like, you're gonna be so hot, like, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna die.
We are going to die in here. And I wasn't thinking about it. I mean, I'd had a conversation that we needed to get air in here, but I called up the old hub, and I said,
shout out Casey.
I said, I need an air
Every
conditioner.
episode.
I need an air conditioner. And guess what? We have an air conditioner.
We have one.
And we are feeling good.
Thank you, Casey.
Yes.
You're the best.
That's my much moment. You would see a lot of sweat going on if we didn't have it.
Indeed. Okay, so I think my much moment is we've done a few of these recordings now, and I have forgotten so much stuff that I actually have a checklist that I go over every time now, and I did not forget anything, so that's a win.
Yay!
And
we're clapping.
also, our battery died on our last episode, and we caught it immediately because we're watching you now. So we're locked in.
We are locked in.
We are locked in. So we're getting better every
Yes,
time.
every time.
We're getting there.
I'm excited about this.
Okay, so Ecclesiastes 3 focuses a lot on seasons. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today, all the seasons.
I'm in my seasons era.
Seasons era.
Yeah. I say it
So
all.
all of them.
I'm saying it all the time, like, oh, it's just a season. Just a season.
Same. So have you ever found yourself wishing that life would move faster or slower? Or maybe you're waiting for a new opportunity, grieving loss, celebrating a milestone, or wondering why a difficult season seems to linger.
So I love this question because I think we can all go back and we can all think about like a hard season, a sad season, happy seasons, because we all are in those. And one that really just stuck out to me was when I was desperately wanted time to just speed up. And I can remember being in this season, I struggled with anxiety and depression, and every day felt so heavy. Like I would go to bed just like hoping that when I woke up the next morning that I would just be okay. Like that I would just wake up and I would be like, I'm fine. And then I would finally feel like myself. I would pray, I'd be like, God, I want to feel like myself again. I just want to feel like myself again. And every morning I'd open my eyes and think, maybe today's the day. And I can remember, like, when I would get up in the mornings, I would just think, I wish it was dark. Like, I wish it was bedtime. Like, I wish, like, and then people that know me, like, some people probably don't know that about me because I'm normally pretty bubbly and pretty energetic. But, that was a really hard time in my life, and when it didn't happen, like when I didn't get up and I wasn't myself, I still had to get up. I still had to have still have those responsibilities. I had to show up for my family, and some days I just felt like I was looking at the clock, just waiting for it to be bedtime, and then I was just trying to survive. Like some of you might be in that season now, like, where you're just in that survival mode. And I just wanted healing, but I wanted it so quickly.
Yeah.
Because I felt lost. But looking back, I feel like I didn't realize it, that so much energy in that season that I was wishing to go away, that I almost missed what God was trying to do. And so I've been through quite a few of these seasons. So like, looking back now, and praise God, it's been a long time.
That's awesome.
Knock on wood. But it praise Jesus. You know?
Absolutely.
But I think now when I do go through those seasons, I look at it so differently because I want God to do something in the middle of it. I want to come out.
That's good.
I want the pain to end, but God I want God to teach me to trust Him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, when you have those prayers where you pray like, oh, give me more patience, and then this like, or
something happens.
And then you're thinking, what did I say? What did I do? But like, I can see now that God was present and working and faithful, and that's why Ecclesiastes reminds us that there is a time for everything. Even the seasons we wish would pass more quickly are not wasted when they are placed in God's hands. And I think for a lot of seasons, I wasn't necessarily placing them in God's hands, like I have in the seasons recently. And when you just ask God to show up and really to just trust in Him, and this last time I went through it, I remember praying a different prayer. I just said, God, what are you teaching me?
That's really good. Yeah.
What are you teaching me here? Just what are you teaching me? Like, I think sometimes we just have to change that mindset, and that's why I love talking about seasons. I think.
Yes.
So that was a lot, and that was a little heavy, but
no, but it's honest and it's true, and I think it's very relatable. And while I haven't had like that type of like depressive state, there's been times where like I take the wilderness seasons really hard because I'm not the type of person that likes to feel alone or likes to feel like there's like pruning in my like relationships and stuff. And so those are the ones where it's really difficult. And when I start those feelings of like the loneliness and the isolation, I'm immediately like, nope, isolation's not from God. And if there is a season where I'm feeling alone or in this like wilderness, it's always been like there's ties that I need to cut, or there's something that's about to be revealed to me about like maybe a friendship or something where I'm like, no, that they aren't actually my people, or I don't actually need to be in this situation. And so it's always, again, like proven fruitful.
Right.
But at first it's like this panic of like, no, I don't want to be in this, I don't want to be in the wilderness again. I don't want to feel alone. I don't want to feel like I don't have somebody, But they always, it always comes back to like, it's a teaching moment.
There's always something that God has for you in those moments.
And this is what Solomon's talking about here is he's talking about seasons, not calendar seasons, but he's talking about spiritual seasons. He's talking about seasons in your life. Like he's talking about deep seasons, like not, oh, it's spring now and we're going to go do this. It is like a depressive season, a wilderness season, a season on a mountaintop where you're like, yeah, this is amazing.
I love those times.
And, like Afton has said, you keep telling yourself, oh, it's going to get better after the season's over. Like, this is just a really busy time right now. It's going to get better. But I constantly find myself looking back on the last season that I thought was, like, busy or a wilderness or something like that. And either reflecting on, wow, I learned so much in that season, or I had more time than I thought I did, and I let it slip by without getting what God was wanting me to get out of it.
Yeah, that's good. I think too, it says, like, how can we recognize life's rhythms and help us manage those expectations? And I feel like recognizing life's rhythms helps us manage expectations because it reminds us that no season lasts forever.
Yes.
And I love that. No season is meant to contain everything. There's a season for everything. And when we forget that life moves in seasons, we can become frustrated with ourselves, I feel like. So my example for that would be, like, during that time, one of the hardest parts to, like, that was the expectation that I should be better.
Yeah.
Why am I not better?
Yeah.
Why am I, every morning I just woke up struggling, like, why isn't this gone? What's wrong with me? Why is this happening? But recognizing that I was in a difficult season could have helped shift that question, why am I not over this yet, to how can I trust God and be faithful in that season? And that's kind of where my shift began. Like, looking back, I can see, like, And what's cool is I can look back, and my husband could probably attest this because he's obviously around me most, but like the seasons probably before that I was all in, like I had just like was all in with God versus the before that I wasn't putting all my trust in God. There's such a difference in the outcome.
Oh yeah.
It's such a difference. And so that's another, like, that was just my shift, I think.
And I feel like when you're trusting God with the seasons, all the seasons that you're going through, you're always waiting on Him to reveal like what He has for you in that place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even though it's not the place you want to be, like no one wants to feel alone or depressed or any of those sad, grieving, anything. But if you're waiting on Him and trusting Him with the season that you're in, He's going to reveal something to you through it.
Absolutely.
And my sister-in-law, there was, when my youngest was a lot younger, he had a biting problem in daycare to the point where he was like going to get kicked out of daycare, and we didn't have any more daycare options. And so in this moment, I was completely panicked, like freaking out, calling my sister-in-law, like, what am I going to do? He's going to get kicked out. I have a job. Like, I have no one to watch him. And she had this piece of advice that has stuck with me so long now, but she said, I know this feels like the biggest thing right now. She's like, but this will not last forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you can calm down. You can like, but even like as a reminder in the season that you're in, it's not going to last forever. No. Even in the middle of it, when you feel like you're drowning and there's no way out, it's still not going to last forever. There is going to be an end. There is going to be something revealed to you.
That reminds me of whenever I was in one of my seasons. My friend Jill, shout out to Jill. She said something that stuck with me. That said, I would say, "Am I going to get over this? Am I going to get through this? Am I going to get through this?" And she said, she looked at me. She said, "Did you get through it before?" Oh. I was like, "Yes." Well, then you're going to get through it again.
Amen. Yeah.
And that stuck with me every time. Like I get there, I'm like, okay, this is just a season.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to last forever.
Yes.
So if you're in that season right now, whatever you might be, just know it's not going to last forever. I mean, you may be in a great season right now and you want it to last forever. It's not, but
sorry to burst.
But if you're in that season of just grieving or busyness or depression, anxiety, whatever that might be, not knowing what your next step is in life, like just be encouraged that it is just a season and that God has so much more for you. In each season, He has something for you. And why would we want to stay in that season if God just wants to continue to give us more seasons to grow and to get to know Him better?
Yes. I love that. And Solomon goes over this like tension that we have with control and surrender and like the good and the bad. And so he talks about in Ecclesiastes 3, there's a time for everything. And every activity under heaven. And he says a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant, a time to harvest, a time to kill, a time to heal. And this goes on and on and on. And I always think of Footloose. And
I've never seen it.
To dance!
You know,
What?
I know, I've never seen it. I've never seen a lot of movies.
Oh, you never seen Footloose? He literally, he brings out the Bible and he starts quoting.
I'm sure they have seen it. I'm sure you are that all that are listening have seen Footloose. And now I'm going to have to go home and watch it.
Yes, that's your assignment. Okay. So the question from this is like, why do people always embrace one and not the other?
Can we cut? I didn't put your stuff on here, and you didn't put my stuff on there, and this one I did, so now I don't know where we're at. See, I didn't put your stuff on. No, I'm not done any of this. No.
Oh, you're talking about your ministry season in here. What's season you're currently in?
I wanted us both to do that. I think we should both do that.
Okay.
But then how do I know where we're going to, like, I'm trying to, finding purpose in difficult seasons.
That is,
I didn't put that on here.
What?
tension between control and surrender. Okay, give me that. Give me this.
What's the next section? I skipped this question.
Wait,
And you answered.
Yeah, but so number 2 is
right here at the bottom.
tension between control. But where are you at?
I was on number 2 already, so I skipped your last question on 1. You wanted to talk about this, so where we're at right now.
Should we not talk about that?
No, yeah.
Okay, but
I forgot that you had a really long response on that one.
yeah, I just don't want to get offbeat because I don't know what you're answering, what I'm answering. I didn't answer all your questions, and you didn't answer my questions.
Yeah.
So I just need to know.
Okay, we go back to this.
Sorry.
Okay, we're resuming right here. So what season do you feel like you're currently in?
So right now, and this is a good question for our audience as well. Like, what season are you currently in? Are you in a growth, waiting, rebuilding, grieving, celebrating, or something else? So if I had to describe my season I'm currently in, I would separate it into 2. That's what I do. I would say there's my family, ministry, and the future God is preparing for us. So my family time, I'm in a season of embracing the moments. And I kind of talked about this in my children are 16 and 19. So I know that I'm going to be an empty nester soon. Much sooner than I'd like. And because of that, I feel like I'm much more intentional with my time and my moments. The ball games, the dinners together, like just taking in all that. Like we just went on vacation, just the 4 of us, and it was just, I took in that whole vacation. And so I know these are moments that I'm going to one day miss. In ministry, it's a little bit different. I feel like I've entered a season of waiting and trusting. And this is a season that's really began earlier this year. I can sense that I feel like God is doing something, but I just can't quite see the whole picture yet. And I hate that. I actually don't. I don't know. If anyone's felt that way, you can comment and give me some good vibes there. I also just feel like there's these dreams and ideas and opportunities that I've been praying through that just God hasn't handed me that roadmap.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, that is so uncomfortable. Like I like to know God's plans. But God has been teaching me that faith isn't having the whole plan; it's trusting the one who does.
Yeah, that's good.
So right now, I'm waiting to. I'm just in that waiting season. Like we also purchased like this land back in 2024, and we were like so excited about having building this house and this home, and I felt like we were stepping into this next chapter, and then shortly after, our life just became just really crazy.
Yeah.
And there was no time for that. Like, there was no time, obviously, to do that. And so, I feel like God's used that situation to teach me something important, that just because something is good, it doesn't mean that it's the right time. So just because it's a good thing, like, it's a great thing. Like, God doesn't want to take that dream from me, but it's just not the right time. He's reminding me, and this is such a good thing for me right now in the season, and such goes so much with our Butch verse. He's reminding me to steward what He's already given me.
Yeah, that's good.
Instead of constantly focusing on what comes next. And that is huge for me.
Yeah.
In my home, in my vacations, in my ministry. Like, He's just saying, Afton, steward. So, by golly, I've been getting lots of landscape. I've been doing stuff all around the house. Like, I'm stewarding this house well.
I feel like that's probably a good description for like where I'm at with, like, you're talking about being very intentional with your family and being, very mindful with the ministry that you're in. And I feel like with all of those aspects, that is what I'm trying to do, is just stop striving for the next thing and just being content and stewarding what I have right now.
Yeah.
Like being obedient in what I have and doing what He's asked me to do with what I have.
Yeah, it's true. And He will make that direction clear.
Yeah.
In time.
Yes.
Whenever it's His time.
Yes.
So, the next thing we're going to talk about is the tension between control and surrender.
So I think we can cut.
Just kidding. Cut that out.
We'll cut. So we already did this part. We talked about footloose. That was that part.
Oh, so how are you going to
But I'm
hide
going
that
to just
back
ask
in?
you the question. I'm going to ask you the next question. This one. Why do people embrace one side?
Yeah, but didn't you already answer that?
No. I asked it, and you're like, wait, where are we? Yes. That's where we're at, this question. Oh, okay. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do people often embrace one side of these pairs while resisting the other?
Well, I think that we embrace one side and we resist the other because we love God's blessings, right?
Mhm.
We love to be blessed.
Yeah.
But we often struggle to trust His process. And that pairs great in Ecclesiastes because God uses the joyful seasons to refresh us and the difficult seasons to refine us,
Yes.
which I love.
And I think that a lot of people, when they choose to follow God, they think that making that choice to follow God means there's not going to be any suffering and there's not going to be any bad. It's all going to turn to good. And He does work all things for good,
Yeah.
but all things.
Yeah.
The losses,
Everything.
the grief, the valley seasons,
true.
all of those are good.
I also love in Romans 5, 3-4 tells us suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope.
Yeah. That's a great one.
Cut that. That is not what that says. That is not the full sentence. Just cut that out. Don't talk
Okay.
about Romans. Okay.
So what happens when we try to force a season before it's time?
Well, I think we become frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? We become disappointed, unnecessary stress because we're trying to make something happen that God hasn't prepared yet.
Yes.
And I have been in that before.
Yes.
And when I was thinking about this question, I thought about a farmer. I know. I got an analogy for everything. And if he digs up the seed every few days to see if it's growing, he'll actually hinder the process.
Yeah.
I've done this before.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to transplant something several times? Sometimes it can work. Okay, I'm not going to say that to my husband. It would work, but it does not work for me because I'm hindering that process. Growth takes time. There's a season for planting and there's a season for harvesting, but you can't skip one to get the other.
Yeah.
And that again, I'm just reminded. Just because something is good doesn't mean it's time.
And I feel like a lot of times, if it was given to me when I wanted it instead of when I was ready for it, I wouldn't have been able to steward it. I would not have been prepared for that calling or for that. Like even this podcast, if you would have told us 2-3 years ago, like you guys are going to start a podcast, we would have royally messed this up because we would not have been
right. And I've done that in my life too. And I'm going to be the first to say that I've ruined things I've messed things up in my life because of me.
Mhm.
Because of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And this is how it's going to be. Yeah, well, that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so I think there's a flip side to that too, that we can, I'm going to be the first to say that I've really screwed up some things because of God's timing and my timing, and I just decided just to go with my timing instead.
Yes. 100%. So finding, like we're talking about finding purpose even in the difficult seasons, and Solomon in Ecclesiastes is saying that we aren't promised that every season is pleasant. It just says every season will have a meaning.
Yes.
Like there's a time for everything.
So good. When you say that, it just makes my heart flutter. Like it does.
Yeah.
Because there's so much meaning there's meaning in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think one of the greatest lessons I've learned through hardship is I can compare this with my season of anxiety and depression with empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I learned that before walking through it myself, I could sympathize with people who struggle, but I didn't fully understand the weight they carried every day. So you can sympathize with someone, but until you went through something, it's like, oh my goodness, I've been through that, I know. So going through that season really changed me, and it taught me that some battles aren't visible to others, and it taught me that someone can look perfectly fine on the outside while fighting difficult battles on the inside. And I think it just taught me to be slower to judge, quick to listen. I think that because of what I experienced, I now have a deeper compassion for people who struggle with that, and I think that could be with a lot of people that go through, a diagnosis or a divorce maybe, or just anything like that. Like if you've not been through something like that, you don't really know, and it's so easy to judge people.
Yeah, I do see that a lot with you. Like something will happen, and I see you either like analyze it out loud, or I can see your wheels just spinning. Like this was the comment that was made, but how do you think that they were coming to this? Like, do you think that they're upset, or do you think that they were just like they just had a question, or do you think so? You're always trying to like, as best you can, understand where someone's coming from in something, instead of being like, if you got like a question or a comment or something, being immediately like, oh my gosh, like they're always asking me, just like being on that offense. You're always so quick to try and understand, like, what do you think they mean by this, or like where are they coming from? And you're very good about that.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that came with time, though, and that's just going through that and God's grace, because it's like there's always something, like, just because I react that way, someone else who reacts that way doesn't mean I don't know where they're coming from. And I want to know so badly where they're coming from. I don't want to just be like, you're crazy.
Yes.
Like, why do you say things like that? You know? And I actually used to be that way.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I used to tell you what I thought.
But I didn't tell you.
I don't think that way anymore at all. And I think, too, that's also ties in beautifully with 2 Corinthians 1:3-4, where Paul says that God comforts us in our troubles so that we can comfort others with the comfort we have received.
That's good, yeah.
And let me tell you, if you've gone through something, a loss, maybe you're going through infertility, maybe you're going through a divorce, or whatever it might be, like knowing that there's someone out there that's went through it, too.
Yep.
And that if you went through it, I think God gives us those things so we can comfort people in times of sorrow and times when we're angry or whatever it might be.
100%.
We need people.
Yeah. It's why God gave us other people to help us.
Yeah.
So Solomon then goes into embracing like the present season. And I love this so much because, especially when it comes to motherhood, I feel like time just slips so fast. And so I've always been very conscious in my motherhood, in like being a mom, to never say, I can't wait till X. Like, you will never hear me say, I can't wait till my kids are 16 and they can drive. I never say stuff like that, because I'm always like, I absolutely can wait. I'm like, it will be very convenient one day when they're able to drive themselves.
That's good.
But I absolutely can wait until that happens. Because, like, I don't ever want, as a parent, to be like, I was wishing the years away. Because even now I look back, and my kids are still pretty young. They're 10 and 8. But I'm like, where did the years go? And in the seasons when they were babies, I just never wanted to be like, I can't wait till they walk. Or I can't wait till they can talk and tell me what they want. Like, I was always like, no, because once it's gone, it's gone. Like, you don't get a rewind and go back and do it over.
That's really good.
So I've just always been very conscious about, like, trying to be very present in the moment.
What would you tell me? This is so off script. What would you tell me, 20-year-old me, that just had a baby and was so, that you colicky, cried all the time, and you're just like, I can't wait for this season to be over because I can't do it. what would you say? I know some parents that are struggling with this.
I honestly, probably my sister's advice that she gave me a long time ago, that I know this seems like the biggest, hardest thing that you're going to go through, but this will not last forever.
Yeah.
Your baby will not cry forever. They will not even be a baby forever. And pretty soon they're going to be running around being a screaming toddler, smearing goldfish all over your house, and you'll be like, remember when all they did was cry? Like, can we go back to that?
I love that, Jesse. That's good. So, if anyone's watching this with new moms that have crying babies that are like, what?
Yeah.
Just know it's not going to last forever.
No.
So, let's talk about comparison. How do you avoid constant comparison? And this comes from embracing the season. One of the Ecclesiastes recurring themes is learning to receive the present moment as a gift. So I've had to remind myself of this when I look at other people and wonder what's next for me. Like that will eat me if I let it. And in ministry, there are times when I feel like I'm just in a waiting season while others seem to be moving forward, but just God hasn't called me to be faithful in their season, and I have to remember that. It's their season. He's called me to be faithful in my season. And so the same is true even with my family right now. Like, I'm cherishing time with my 16 and 19-year-old. By the way, teenage years, whatever they told you that you're just not gonna like. Teenage years have been my favorite years.
Oh, really?
My absolute favorite years for my kids.
I feel like every new age or stage that the kids are in are my new favorite.
Like, teenage years have been my favorite. I just love watching them seeing them grow into like this woman, this man, and just I don't know.
Sweet.
But I know this season won't last forever, and so I'm just really cherishing that moment. Someone else may be celebrating a new baby while another family is adjusting to an empty nest. Neither season is better.
Yeah.
They're just simply different. We're all in different seasons, and comparison makes us resent the season God has given us because we're focused on the season He has given someone else.
That's so good.
And that's what I remind myself of. I'm like, this is not about them. This is about me. And that's, of course, what the enemy wants us. The enemy uses that tactic so many times, that comparison tactic, like, oh, well, they're here. They're 40 and they have it all together. And you're 40 and you are looking like you ain't got nothing together.
No greater way to steal your joy.
Right, and that is
somebody else.
Exactly. And
or,
so,
as my husband always says, keep your eyes on your own paper. He says it all the time. Keep your eyes on your own paper.
Oh, that's funny. That's good, though. Yeah, that is good. So, you might want to cut that out a little bit. That's a long pause.
That's okay.
We're coming back to you live here.
We're just, we got to process. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, Ecclesiastes 3 does not tell us every season is going to be easy. It tells us every season has its place. Mm-hmm. And that is the foundation of this entire chapter, is every season. There's a time for everything. There's a time for every season.
There's a time for everything.
And life moves through these cycles of beginnings and ends and joys and sorrows and planning and harvesting. And wisdom doesn't come from trying to control the season, but from recognizing them, embracing them, and trusting God that He's going to work through all of them. That's so good. I love that. Yep. Great reminders. So there is a final question. So if you guys are into like commenting and stuff, or
we want you to comment.
If you just want to reflect, like just spend your own time reflecting. But it says that every season has a purpose. How might your perspective change if you viewed your current circumstance not as an interruption to life, but as part of the life that you're meant to live right now, as part of the blessings that God has given you?
Yep. I love that. And I would say too, I would just reflect on, like what we asked, what your current season, what season are you currently in? And also, how can I fully be present in the season while remaining hopeful for the next? And I think that's something that we all can reflect on in any season of life. How can we be present in today, and what does God want from us in that?
It's really good. I
Yeah.
love that.
So,
Remember, whatever season you're in, you were made for much, much more.
we love you guys. Like,
Share, subscribe, all the things.
all the things.
Thank you for listening.
We'll be back in a couple weeks.